If your presentation starts with, "Hi everyone, thank you for joining. Let's give everyone a few minutes to join," you're already losing the room. I'm sorry. I know that sounds harsh, but every time I would hear that, my immediate thought would be, why aren't we just starting on time? And I'm guilty of this too. Why couldn't I just start on time, let people catch up if they have to? Also, I realized that being thanked for joining does feel a little bit strange. You think about it, it's part of their job to be there. People start this way because they want to seem polite or welcoming. Overall, just open to feedback. But I believe what it signals is hesitation. It feels like the room is kind of waiting instead of actually being led. And these are the first 30 seconds of your presentation. People are deciding, am I going to pay attention or am I going to be multitasking throughout this meeting? The first 30 seconds of your presentation are your highest leverage moments. If your opening is weak, people may not take the meeting as seriously. They might not fully engage. And this is going to directly affect how they perceive you. Your authority, your confidence, even how much weight they'll give your ideas. Because whether you like it or not, people are making decisions about you very quickly. So here's what to do instead. Instead of starting with some filler information, option one, maybe start with the shared goal or a problem. You could immediately anchor people to something that you know that they care about. So one example I can think of is like, we all want to reach 98% yield this quarter, right? I've narrowed down what we need to do to 5 key activities. And today I will be showing you why one of them is going to get us there faster than trying to do all of them, right? So that's kind of a hook. Now people are connected to the meeting because something like this is extremely relevant to them. Okay, so that's one option. Option two, you can start with a really sharp question or an insight, something that's going to make them think. I guess it depends on the meeting that you're leading. One example I can think of, especially if you feel like the meeting allows for this type of vibe. So the question is, what would you do differently if you held executive decision or had overall power for how things were run day to day here? And that kind of opens up for a more in-depth conversation. Another example could be, if you could hit deadlines by spending 1 hour a day on something that feels tedious, would you do it? So I guess it just depends on the type of meeting that you're leading, but this is an example of how to get them like mentally engaged and not multitasking on something else. All right, so the third outcome, and to be honest, is my personal favorite. It's starting out right away with the exact outcome that you want to get out of this meeting. Tell them why the meeting matters. So, for example, you can start off by saying, if we can align on this one decision today, we can actually save about 2 weeks of work across the team. So now you have their attention like immediately, like, tell me how. So, a little bit about me and the way I used to present. I used to start presentations by waiting for everyone to join and then reviewing what we talked about last time. I thought that was helpful, but I realized we were spending way too much time rehashing things that were already decided. We were not moving forward. We were just kind of going in circles. So once I stopped doing that, I felt like I was starting to get more straight to the point at the beginning of the meeting. The entire tone and ultimately the outcome of the meeting changed. So now the part that people don't really want to talk about is in the first few seconds of your presentation, people are already deciding, are you prepared? Is this worth their full attention for the next 30, 60 minutes? Or can they half listen while they work on something else that is also important? Unless you have a title like CEO, COO, VP of whatever, you almost have to earn their attention quickly in the first, whatever, 5, 10 seconds. So it's important. The first 30 seconds are very critical. Just keep in mind that these few pieces of advice that I'm kind of giving you that I've gathered over the years, they're not going to magically make your presentation perfect. You still need to communicate clearly. You need strong content. But what it will do is make sure people are actually paying attention from the start long enough to hear what you have to say. If you take one thing from this, make your authority, your intent, and your objective clear in the first 30 seconds. So the next time you present, I would be curious to hear back how it went. If you skip the filler, made eye contact, and start with saying something that actually matters. Who knows, maybe it might help you advance. If this helped you at all, follow along. I'll be covering other topics on how to strategically navigate the work environment.